Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Tuesday, May 19th, DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios. If you're up and at it, thanks for making us a part of your start, whether you are listening on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, available to stream up online at sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. You've got the app, download it, take it on the go. Your Alexa devices or smart devices, smart speakers, and of course the video stream up and rolling on YouTube, Man Cave TV. Multiple ways for you to be joining or tuning in, and you can join in on the conversation a couple different ways. You got that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Also, you can hit us up on the Section 105 chat room on Man Cave TV. Brew Crew, pick it up. A W for game one of this three-game series with the Chicago Cubs. And the Brewers chasing Imanaga, giving him his fourth loss, putting 8 earned runs on him last night, and a couple of home runs. Yelich off the scoreboard with his dinger in the second inning to get his third home run on the season. Jake Bauers, his team-leading 7th home run of the season. Brewers collecting 13 total hits as a team. Only striking out 4 times last night, too. And the pitching, solid. Brandon Sproat going just under 5 innings. Couldn't quite get through the 5th inning. Kind of started to fall apart a little bit for him. But dude he did get credited with the win. But I would call it a quality start for Brandon Sproat. If you're looking at the line, you're probably seeing, you are seeing 4 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, but he had 5 Ks on there too, gave up that home run. But through 4, Brandon Sproat was pitching very well. But in like typical Brewers fashion, you got another guy coming out of the pen that will throw you a few innings and look really good. Shane Drone picking up his 2nd win of the season, improving to a 2-1, 2.57 ERA. He, last night, gets credited with the win, going 4 1/3, giving up 4 hits, striking out 5, no walks, no runs. Just a super impressive performance from Shane again last night. But lots to like about last night's game. We'll recap it and take a look to tonight's matchup, where the Miz kid, Jacob Mizorowski, is going to be on the mound looking for his 4th win on the season. He has been putting together some impressive performances back-to-back and such. Can he continue that? Cubs are going to be throwing out Ben Brown, maybe their version. I mean, he's 6'6", a little bit of a taller dude over there too, and he's coming off of a 7 strikeout performance against the Braves back on the 14th. So we'll take a look at tonight's game 2 between Brewers and the Cubs. But great start last night for the Crew in this series, and moving just a little bit closer to the Cubbies in the standings and such. But we'll. Yeah, again, plenty of Brewers chat here. And I want to throw out a potential scenario. Should Jake Bauers get more starts in left field just to keep his bat in the lineup? You know, if you got Vaughn in the lineup, do you put Bauers? It does sacrifice a little bit in terms of defense in the outfield. But with that bat, with that offense, do you put Chirio in center, Bauers in left, keep that lineup going? Obviously, depending on pitching matchups, and you could have Bauers, going over there at first base for Vaughn and such. But I don't know. I kind of like it. I'm intrigued with it. We'll hit this up and discuss it here this morning. So plenty of baseball talk coming your way. We're going to catch up in a couple hours with Mr. RJ Cardinal because in typical fashion, it seems like after every Tuesday after we talk to him, something does pop up with the Badgers, and that was the case last Tuesday when we found out the search committee for the AD, for the athletic director and such, and kind of a timeline in terms of how the Badgers or what the Badgers, kind of want to fill this role in and by the summer. So should be kind of a quick turnaround here. It seems like, but we'll get the latest and greatest on what's the talk like down in Madtown with Madison with Mr. RJ Cardinal coming up at about 8:20 this morning. So we got that going on here, and then maybe we'll throw a little bit of football talk. I mean, Packers OTAs and such. That's not till next week in that, but kind of a cool story. But hopefully, something to watch, an easy person to root for. The Packers added another cornerback to their roster. His name is Marlon Jones. He is an undrafted rookie, but his story is pretty remarkable. Jones has defeated cancer. He had to sit out the 2024 season, overcame stage 3 Hodgkin lymphoma, and wondering if he would ever play football again. And now Green Bay has brought him on. So we'll see if he's able to make the ball club and how long. But just a really cool story. A really cool story and somebody easy to root for. So maybe, if he's still on the roster when we get to training camp and preseason, if you hear the name Marlon Jones, that would be a fan favorite. But just kind of a cool story that I wanted to pass along and such. So, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe we've got some football staff on there. Hoops-wise, last night, the NBA, Spurs picking up a Game 1 victory with De'Aaron Fox out with a sprained ankle. Victor Wembanyama kind of announcing his presence with authority last night. So you're probably going to hear about that quite a bit if you listen to any national programs and such. But over 40 points, over 20 rebounds for Victor Wembanyama last night as the Spurs take Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Stanley Cup playoffs, we got a Game 7 last night, and it goes to overtime. Perfect, but Montreal moves on. So anybody hoping for Buffalo or rooting for Buffalo, my apologies, but Montreal gets the 4-3 victory in OT of a Game 7. So also, it is a Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What is grinding your gears? You can let us know. Hit us up with a message. Also, your confessions, your sports confessions for today. What's something that you need to confess and maybe make yourself feel a little bit better? And it is also I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. All right? I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. I want some participation points here, so I need you all to hit me out. I don't care whether it's on the texting line or on the chat room. I'm going to give away some stuff for participation points today, whether it's maybe some sports talk tees. I got a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card over here, too. I got a bunch of other stuff. I got a little bit of a rummage sale here, if you will. Maybe some mugs and that. So we'll see what the participation points looks like. All right, so join in on the conversation. We're going to get going here with the leadoff. We'll talk some Brewers, taking a look back at Game 1. A W for the Brew Crew last night. Offense coming out and giving some early run support for the Brew Crew. And Sproats, Shane Drowan, they were solid last night too. And then we get Jacob Mizorowski for tonight. Let's break it all down, shall we? We'll take our first break, and then the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Tomorrow morning, we're going to be doing the program from Hy-Vee in Eau Claire, because Hy-Vee in Eau Claire is going to be doing a breakfast for veterans, current active military members or veterans, from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the 250th anniversary of Team USA. So if you are a veteran or active military member, stop by for a free breakfast. All right, tomorrow, Hy-Vee in Eau Claire, 6 to 10 a.m. And a reminder, free coffee, too, every Wednesday for the month of May for veterans and active military members. And speaking of Hy-Vee, you can check out their latest and greatest deals going on, especially with Memorial Day weekend coming up here. You can go to their Facebook page and check out their flyer, but a lot of good stuff. Buy two, get one free Tombstone pizza. Are you crying? You kidding me? That's like a staple in our household. We've got a deep freezer dedicated to pizza because I think it's every other day. My kids got to have a pizza. Shout out to Hometown Proud with a little Tombstone pizza over there. Otherwise, if you're looking for some items to put up on the grill, you got $4.98 fresh ground beef, $8 for $12 for their special recipe bratwurst legs or patties as well. 3 for $10. 3 for $10. Doritos, Ruffles, bags, chips. So if you got a little grill out going on for Memorial Day weekend, load up at our good friends at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. All right. Let's get things going here this morning, shall we? Let's open it up. Let's open up the leadoff. Talking some Brewer Crew. Brewer Crew picking up a Game 1 victory yesterday against the Chicago Cubs. 9-3 victory. You had let's start off with the offense. Christian Yelich hitting one off the scoreboard last night. Jake Bauers hitting his 7th home run on the season. The Brewers putting up some early run support, getting after Imanaga last night and charging him with his 4th loss on the season. I mean, you had the Brewers putting up, it was really that 4th inning where it kind of loaded up. 4 runs, and then adding 3 more in the 5th for some insurance. That solo shot from Yelich, by the way, coming in the 2nd inning there. So, but in the middle there, 4 or 5 innings, 7 of the 9 runs for the Brewers coming from there. You look at the offensive lineup from last night. I know it's just one game, but Bauers. Depending on pitching matchups and such, I'd be open to seeing Bauers maybe playing a little bit more left field. I get it. It takes you down from a defensive standpoint. But if you could keep that bat in the lineup while he's hitting this way, I think this is something that maybe we're going to see a little bit more going forward, because Chirio, Terang, Contreras, Yelich, Vaughn, Bauers, those top 6 right now with the way they're hitting, I think you try to keep that one going as much as possible. Chirio collected a couple hits last night. Terang went hitless, did score on with a walk. Contreras collected 2 hits. Yelich collected 2 hits. Vaughn collected 2 hits. Bauers collected 2 hits. Everybody had a hit in this game except for Bryce Terang. And I don't think a lot of people are too worried about Bryce Terang right now. 13 total hits for the Crew. But you look at Bauers and the season that he's having, you go back to that Twin series this past weekend too. If you were kind of following along, that guy, I mean, he was hitting a cover off the ball, and man, he was just maybe a few feet short here or there, give or take, from adding a couple of home runs on there too. But his last 30 games, his last 109 at-bats, Jake Bauers is hitting .303, and he's slugging a .523. You want to narrow it down to his last 26 at-bats? .462 average, .517 on base, and an .846 slugging percentage. So far this season overall, He is hitting .288, an on base of a .361, and an OPS of an .872. Heck, dude's even got 4 stolen bases on there as well. So, yep, you may be suffering a little bit in the defensive department in left field, but given what he's doing offensively this year, I think you try to keep him in the lineup as much as possible and take advantage of this thing. You know, we've talked about different players and the starts that they've had to this season, and I'm guilty of this too. This is a confession of mine here on this Sports Confession Tuesday. Kind of overlooked or took for granted what Jake Bauers was doing, and maybe it's like, oh yeah, cool, 6 home runs, team lead, tied for team lead, and whenever, you know, he's up there and such. But then if you really kind of look at it and you really kind of break it down and look at some of the numbers, Bauers is off to a really good start. Put this in perspective. Okay, so last year, Jake Bauers played in 86 games for the Brewers. 86 games. He had 43 total hits and 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. He is 39 games into this season. He is just 3 hits shy from matching what he did last year. He has the same amount of home runs as he did all of last year. He is 1 RBI off from what he did last year. That's the pace that he's on right now. Total bases, he's just 2 off. 73 total bases last year in 86 games. 71 right now. He's already gotten more doubles this year than what he did all of last year. I'm not saying that Jake Bauers is going to continue this throughout the whole season, but I'm just saying if you could find ways to keep the man in the lineup right now and take advantage of this hot streak that he's on, you got to do it. And if that means playing him in left field, I'm good with it. Because I know it's a small sample size right now, but Andrew Vaughn, hey, he's hitting .311 since he's returned to the lineup, a 928 OPS. So it's not like Andrew Vaughn is playing bad, so you can, you know, kind of do a 50-50 split between him and Bauers. You kind of want to keep him in the lineup too. And I'm not saying that the offense is going to continue to roll with their top 6 looking like, you know, each guy collecting multiple hits and each guy is going to be averaging nearly 300. But I'm just saying, roll with it. That's what you got to do. Baseball is full of streaks. It's 162 flipping games. And when you're in a streak and when you're in a little bit of a zone right now, roll with it. Go with this. And it kind of, you know, again, you look at Garrett Mitchell, somebody that we've been talking about off and on. Even like last night when defensive replacement, Blake Perkins comes in. And then Bauers moved to first. So Perkins came in for Vaughn, and bada bing, bada boom. You have that there. If I'm Garrett Mitchell, I'm a little bit nervous, I think. That's what I believe. But, no, we'll see how it all kind of plays out here. But I like it. Hey, don't look now. Stop the presses, people. Last 7 games, guess who's hitting over 300? He finally, for this season, has climbed over a 200 batting average. Joey Ortiz. Joey Ortiz. Last 7 games, 313. Now it's only been 16 at-bats, but hey, progress. Progress being made a little bit. So, and, I mean, Yelich, I know he's been bothered with some injuries, whether it's been the hamstring or the back, but now, I mean, last couple games, we've seen back-to-back days with home runs, a little bit of the power. That's his job, right? That's his job for that long ball. And how about that little stoink in right or left field last night, too? That wind was pretty tricky, was pretty nasty at Wrigley Field yesterday, and it seems like the Brewers were the team that took most of the advantage with that. But I want to talk about some of the pitching. Sproat, Drowan, kind of like the comparison that Pat Murphy talked about those two and how the Brewers have been kind of utilizing two pitchers in games. Kind of an interesting comparison that Pat Murphy threw out there yesterday. So let's talk a little bit more about the Brewers pitching and then taking a look at Jacob Misiorowski getting the start tonight. MLB.com has a piece up about Jacob Misiorowski. And obviously, it's a recency thing, but the writer Mike Petrillo says, we're watching the hardest throwing starter to ever live. And then parentheses, probably. We'll explain, but numbers don't lie right now. So let's talk some pitching. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back with more coming up after these few words. Dings, dents, or something more serious? Don't stress about it. Just head to Superior Auto Body. From minor touch-ups to major collision repair, they are your go-to team for getting your vehicle back to looking like new. With experienced technicians and attention to every detail, Superior Auto Body takes pride in doing the job right the first time. So when life happens to your vehicle, trust the team that Eau Claire drivers rely on. That's Superior Auto Body, your go-to place for all of your auto body needs. So last night, obviously, Brewers putting up 9 runs, couple of home runs and such. That's what's getting a lot of the attention. But let's give a tip of the cap and some credit to the pitching from the Brewers last night. Brandon Sproat going 4 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, did give up a home run. But the first few innings kind of fell off in that 5th inning there for him. But his first few innings, dude looked awesome. And probably helped, to get a little bit of run support, in the second inning with Yelch's home run. Brewers obviously putting up 4 in the top of the 4th there too. But Sproat, beginning of the game, first few, dude looked sharp. He looked good. And then Shane Drowan comes in, finishes up 4 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 5 Ks. He picks up the win, gets credited with the win to improve to 2-1 on the season. You look at what Shane Drowan has done in the month of May so far in 4 games, a .96 ERA, .96. In his last 3 games, in about, that'd be 8 innings of work, has not given up a single earned run, 5 hits. Oh, and no walks. The last 3 games, he has not issued a single walk, has not issued a run. The only run was back on May 4th. We're just looking at the month of May here. In fact, if you want to, outside of his first game, April 8th, where he gave up 3 earned runs to Boston, he has given up 1-0-1-1-0-0-0. He has settled in nicely. And this is another example of a pitcher that's able to come in for the Brewers, give you multiple innings of relief work, and kind of wrap. We just saw Chad Patrick do it. We've seen Aaron Ashby do something similar. We've seen DL Hall, do things similar. You add in Shane Drowan now, and you got another pitcher that is able to do this. And Pat Murphy, after the game, kind of made an interesting comparison with it and kind of talked about it's like A-ball. It's kind of like watching A-ball here a little bit, where you got these piggyback starts or piggyback. I don't know if piggyback starts is the right way to say it, but, piggyback performances. Yeah, his exact quote was, "It's like back in A-ball when you did the tandem." That's it. We let them both go. It doesn't always work that way, but it's kind of a neat concept, especially for young pitchers. That was the plan going in. The plan worked, and after winning the final game between these teams last season, the Brewers struck first this season. There's a lot of time to play out. It sounds cliche, but I'm really just worried about today and trying to play good baseball and trying to find ourselves. I still don't think we've hit our stride yet. But going back to the plan, with the A-ball comparison, the tandem, that was the word I was trying to find too. It seems to be working right now here for the Brewers, especially like he said with the younger pitchers. And it'll be curious to see if this is kind of something continuing. Logan Henderson, Chad Patrick on Saturday. Last night was Brandon Sproat, Shane Drowan. Keep some of your other bullpen options fairly healthy. When you have guys, multiple guys, that can go multiple innings in relief for you. Now you kind of look at this Brewers bullpen and you're looking at, man, they got some horses in there. They got some guys. Whether it's, Uribe as the closer or McGill as the closer. Koenig's probably coming back soon. Aaron Ashby, DL Hall. You look at these guys and they're like, man, these are guys can give you some length. I think really, and even Grant Anderson might, I know he just came off of a performance where he just went under 2 innings of work. Yeah. I like how this bullpen is set up right now for the Crew. So tonight, speaking of pitching, we get the Miz kid, Jacob Misiorowski. He's coming off of that performance against the Padres where he went 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 10 Ks, did not pick up the win. The Yankees game where he did pick up a win, 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 11 Ks. You want to talk about a pitcher that has not given up any runs in the month of May? Jacob Misiorowski has not given up any runs in the month of May so far. Knock on wood that continues. I hope I didn't just jinx it for Jacob Misiorowski. But anybody who's been following and paying attention to the Brewers so far probably knows that he has been on fire here as of late. And will that continue tonight going up against the Cubs? I think it's fair to say that we're not too worried, or at least I'm not too worried about Jacob Misiorowski in a big game, in a big moment, in a tense environment. He has done it in Boston. He has done it with the Yankees. He has done it, with the Padres this year. You look at last year against the Cubbies and in the postseason, Dodgers, whatever. Jacob, I'm not worried about that for Jacob Misiorowski. Now, can he continue? It's a lot to ask. Coming what he has done so far in the month of May, but can he continue to go about it? On the flip side, the Cubbies are going to be throwing Ben Brown. Now, if you're not too familiar with Ben Brown, he has appeared in 14 games so far for the Cubs. He has started 2 of those games. He is 1-1 with a 1.60 ERA. In the month of May, he has been really solid for the Cubs, too. 4 games, 0.82 ERA. Now, he doesn't log a ton of innings. In fact, his last 2 starts, he has pitched 4 innings in each of those 2 starts, and that's been his max so far. So, we'll see how much they can or will stretch him out tonight, but, he's coming off of throwing 65 pitches against the Braves back on the 14th, and that's the highest he has been so far this year in terms of pitch count. Will we see something similar and such? But Brewers hitters have a little bit of experience going up against him. A couple games worth and such. You got Jackson Churio, who is 0 for 8 against him. But Contreras and 8 career at-bats is hitting .375 with an .875 OPS. We've got Frelick, 6 at-bats, .453 OPS, 167 average. Ortiz is 0 for across the board. Terang in 6 career at-bats, .333 with a .762 OPS. And Christian Yelich in 9 career at-bats, .111 with a .333 OPS. Cubs-wise, they got a little bit of experience. Not as much when you look at some of the career numbers, not as much as the Brewers hitters have against Brown. But you're talking about a game's worth. Suzuki's 250 and 4 career at-bats. Happ 250, 4 career at-bats. Bush is actually 2 for 4 against him with 3 RBIs. So a little bit of experience. They're sort of familiar with him. But if you have some time this morning or later on today, head over to MLB.com. Mike Petrillo has a piece talking about, is Jacob Misiorowski the hardest throwing starter to ever live? And he opens up the piece with this statement. Jacob Misiorowski is the hardest throwing starting pitcher in the hardest throwing season on record, which means we can start right off here with the big flashing premise. Misiorowski is, in parentheses, probably the hardest throwing pitcher of all time. And you get to see him right now. That's good news for you, the present-day baseball fan, since you could see history being made. It's worse news for the Cubs lineup, which has to face him tonight, in a series that is going to have a lot to say about the fate of the NL Central. It's a lofty title to put on a 24-year-old to say likely the hardest throwing starter ever, and yet it's easier to prove than disprove. More than 3,600 pitchers have started at least 20 games in their career dating back to the beginning of time. Point to 1. Misiorowski throws harder than him. Yes, harder than him, or even him. And so the sample size here, for maybe some that want to kind of downplay it a little bit, pitch track data started back in 2008. As it says here, he's got the 8 hardest pitches ever tracked dating back to the advent of the tracking era in 2008 by a starter. He's got 19 of the top 23. He is quite likely going to break the record for the most triple-digit pitches by a starter in a season by June. Hunter Green set that record in 2022 with 337. Putting Misiorowski almost 70% of the way there already. I mean, it's impressive numbers. We are witnessing it firsthand. We are watching it firsthand. It's awesome. It's fun. It's exciting. But I think a lot of us Brewers fans, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think a lot of us Brewers fans also have it in the back of our mind. How's the elbow going to hold up? How's the shoulder going to hold up? How is that arm going to hold up? But right now, let's enjoy it, baby. Let's enjoy it. Excited to see what Misiorowski has in store for tonight. First pitch, 6:40. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior on your radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. All right, let's take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first quarter. We'll be back after these few words. Summer is nearly here, and that means it's time to get outdoors and to make some memories and be ready for whatever the season brings. That's where Tilden Gun can come on in. Whether you're gearing up for target practice, heading to the range, or preparing for your next outdoor adventure, Tilden Gun has the selection and expertise to get you set up right. From firearms and ammunition to accessories and safety gear, they've got everything that you need, all backed by knowledgeable service that you can trust. At Tilden Gun, it's not just about what you buy. It's about making sure you feel confident, informed, and ready every minute that you head on out. So this summer, don't just enjoy the outdoors. Be prepared for it. Stop by Tilden Gun and see why they are the trusted name for shooters and outdoor enthusiasts alike. Steve with a quick text on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line, curious to hear your thoughts about the rule where the starting pitcher has to go 5 full innings in order to get the win. I think it needs to be changed in this day and age where it has become less and less common to get 5 full innings from any pitcher. And last night was a perfect example of that. Yes, Rowan's numbers were a little bit better than Sproat's, but to me, giving the win to the guy who inherited a 5-run lead instead of the guy who helped build that 5-run lead doesn't make sense. I agree with you, Steve, and it's honestly something I was thinking about, talking about, and we've touched on it, something similar to, like the Aaron Ashby, and Aaron Ashby has made comments like, yeah, it's probably going to get changed because, he's got 8 wins. He's 8-0, so far this season, so maybe it adjusts there, but I agree with you. I think, Brandon Sproat, I thought he should have got, I understand there's a rule in place, but I agree. I think if we could change it, to me, Brandon Sproat should have got the W. Should have got the win. So, no, I agree. I don't think I can add on to too much what you said, Steve. I think you hit on a lot of great points there. So I would checkmark that. Sign me up. Put my name on the petition to change it or whatever you want. But I agree with you, Steve. And I do think that's something that Major League Baseball is going to have to take a look at, especially with the evolving way of teams are utilizing pitchers and such. I think they will take a look at it. I think they will adjust it, especially the more that we see these, like the Aaron Ashbys or even, last night and such. I think we will. Because, too, it's even, I don't know. I don't know what the perfect fix is either because, you'll get that starting pitcher who goes 8 innings, 7, 8 innings, gives up maybe 1 earned run and gets charged with a loss. And I'm not sure. I feel like there's probably incentives in Major League Baseball contracts similar to the NFL type contracts. We just hear more about it in the NFL. But, if these players get pegged in terms of pay, oh, you got to do this, and, if you reach or if you have fewer losses than this or that you get a little bonus in that, well, they're pitching to a high level. It's just they're so dependent on the other teammates to get the job done and get them a win too. So, but keep your thoughts coming. All right, I'm giving away some stuff for participation points today. So hit us up with a message 715-830-1912 or hit us up on the Section 105 chat room. Where Barb says Joey's defense was pretty good last night as well. Hope he can keep it going. As Joe says, less than a week for the Express to start. So, continue to hit us up with your thoughts. All right, 715-830-1912. Or again, that Shoe Doctors, or that is a Shoe Doctors bullpen line, or the Section 105 video chat. Send me your Toyson Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What is grinding your gears? It is also a Sports Confession Tuesday. So what sports confessions do you have? And I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. So we'll wrap up the last couple minutes here with Morgan. Good morning, Morgan.
Hey, Casper. How you feeling lately about life?
I'm okay. How about you?
If you had to pick a word to best describe you currently, what would you say?
Indifferent. Ready for vacation.
Okay. What about one word that you would not use to describe you right now? If there was a word that you're like, that is definitely not my word right now, what would it be?
Enthusiasm. I don't know. I'm just making.
You want me to get you some pom-poms? Are you you're lacking the rah-rah?
I think I just need more coffee.
That might be it.
Yeah.
That's what you tell yourself as an adult on repeat every day of your life. Coffee and more coffee is the only possible solution to offset whatever you're going through as a grown-up.
I need some extra shots of espresso or whatever they call it.
So what is the best team ever? I'll give you some examples, okay? I was reading about this because obviously it's a complicated debate because it requires different sports, and different sports is into the discussion of how you measure greatness and yada, yada, yada. But, for example, they say the best team in NBA history probably, what would you say?
Best team in NBA history?
Yeah.
I got to go with the Bulls.
96?
Yep.
96
72
Bulls.
and 10, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they said that was the best for basketball. What about your best football team? What you think about this? And I'm going to ask you, did you see this on socials, Luke Combs? So
No.
Luke Combs played Lambeau.
Yep.
And he has a country song, if you're familiar. It's where he says, let's shotgun one. It's one too many, about drinking beer. So he goes out there. He's doing a show at Lambeau. I don't know if anybody went to it, but if they did, they brought out Packers players, Coach LaFleur, at one point, and they all shotgunned a beer. That was, and actually Luke Combs could shotgun a beer like a Boyceville champ.
I will say the one thing, should I have brought back David Bakhtiari for that, as we've seen he can shotgun beers?
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say Matt LaFleur is better at that than Aaron Rodgers, too. So
Yeah, absolutely. So if you had to go back to football, not just our shotgun Packers, but best NFL team in your